We're back with another episode of Coffee with April. This time it's once again the opportunity for us to go through the coffee subscription here at April. So the first Tuesday of every single month we roast, pack, and ship out coffee. And this Tuesday, this month of May, what we're doing is we're sending out our first Ethiopian fresh crop coffee. And there's very few things in coffee that is as exciting as when new fresh crop Ethiopian coffee is coming. I think we all, at least here at April, really appreciate Ethiopian coffees as well as Kenyan coffees. There's some really special things to them that I just think is extremely interesting. Most of that comes down to varietals, it comes down to terroir and what most people refer to more or less perfect conditions for growing coffee. This specific coffee comes from the region of cherries. It's a process station. So it's a process station called Boji. We've been working with these guys for 3 years now, more or less. So ever since the start in different volumes and constellations. It's a process station that basically contains a membership of 500 different small producers. So as in a lot of the times with Ethiopian coffees, you have a lot of really small farmers that are working together, putting very, very small lots into larger lots. And usually that ends up tasting really, really good. This coffee goes really high up. We're well above 2,100 meters, which again is causing a slightly slower maturation, which does different things to coffee depending on where you are. Here, a part of it is the flavor complexity, the increase in sugars in the actual cherry, as well as a kind of crisp, really clean citrusy acidity, which is part of why we love Ethiopian coffees. We're going to walk you through the roasting approach, and then we're going to talk a bit about the brewing as well. So, roasting approach, pretty straightforward. We're roasting these coffees a tiny bit faster than what we do other coffees to some extent, mainly because they can handle it. It's very hard to get an Ethiopian coffee that tastes greenish. Then you must be really, really under roasting it. So it's a coffee that you can actually afford to push a bit more energy into and have that really kind of go a bit more aggressive. So the total roast time here is 9 minutes and 58 seconds. With a time after crack of 1 minute and 10 seconds. For those of you that cares, that's 11.7% of the total roast time, which again, we do not care about. Start temp is what we always do. End temp on this specific roast is 207.6, which is pretty much standards for our filter coffees. We're going to end up between 206 and 208 on almost all of the filter coffees that we put out. Yeah, that's about it. So moving on for the brewing part of the coffee. We're basically back experimenting a lot on V60. V60 is a brew method that just works very well and makes the coffees come out really clean and really well structured. This specific coffee that I'm drinking in front of me now is back to kind of a new version of a classic, which is a 20 to 300 gram dose. Water temperature sits at 90 degrees Celsius, so we usually take that down a tiny bit. Again, the water temperature is controlling what kind of sugars are you actually extracting or how much of a sugars. And depending on how much sugars you can extract of the coffee and how much that temperature is helping you extract, the acidity will proceed differently, okay? We're starting this with basically a 50 gram circle pour. We let that sit for 40 seconds. After that, we're basically going to do 2 more pours, and the first pour is up to 150 grams in total volume of brew weight, and we're going to let that go down, drain the filter completely. You're going to see this really, for some of you, incorrect hole in the bed, which for us is not necessarily incorrect. And then the second pour, we're going to go all the way up to 300 grams of total brew weight. and we're gonna let that drain, and then you're gonna see you actually end up with a really flat bed for those of you that think that's important. The reality is that the taste notes that are coming out is very nice. I mean, they're really crisp, really clean. We're talking a lot of sweet citrus. We're talking a lot of nectarine. Naturally, always a jasmine character, which I find that the best Ethiopian coffees have quite continuously, and that's part of why we like it as well. On a side note, we are going to introduce some Ethiopian coffees later in the season that has a slightly different profiles, because that's kind of interesting to explore as well. But overall, we're super excited about this coffee. Those of you that sign up for espresso is going to get it as well, and it's just a really amazing, flavor intense, vibrant, great representation of the quality that comes with an Ethiopian coffee. So thank you guys for watching. We're gonna have more details about this coffee on the website as well. Links underneath here that Joe will put up. We're gonna have more brewing recipes and coffee info, and so for those of you that really want to dig deep into it. Once again, thank you guys for subscribing. We really appreciate it. Have a good day.